Good Saturday afternoon and welcome back to Gaylord for more of the D3 Challenge as your Catholic Central Cougars take on the Jeffers Jets from Michigan's Upper Peninsula. I'm Matt Gajtka, and this is the Otsego County Sportsplex, the home of the now 21st annual D3 Challenge. And the challenge for both of these teams this afternoon is to rebound from a difficult Friday. Both teams would love to improve upon their performance yesterday in day one of the challenge as your Cougars fell 7-2 to the defending D2 state champions, the Flint Powers Catholic Chargers, and the Jeffers Jets carried a 3-2 lead late into the third period against Dearborn Divine Child last night before coughing up 2 goals in the final 1 minute and 5 seconds to lose that one in regulation. So the Jets at 7-3, that cut short. Well, actually they had their 6-game win streak cut short this past Tuesday when they lost to Calumet. So that's now 2 losses in a row for the Jets, who will be dressed in the white and green uniforms today with the black helmets and black pants. Your Cougars in their traveling blue uniforms. They lost for the first time in 6 games on Friday. So their 5-game win streak was chopped down by Powers Catholic, who despite being now in D2, they've opted up to the middle division in Michigan high school hockey. They still participate in the D3 Challenge, and in talking to Coach Kyle Marchand, he loves the fact that Powers Catholic still comes to this event because it gives the event more cred, and it's definitely more of a literal challenge up here at the D3 Challenge, which sounds like it should be the case. Your goal scorers yesterday for the Cougars, great story continues on as Gage Potter, the freshman, netted his 3rd goal of the season, just 1 off the team lead. And also Jack Reynolds scored his 2nd goal of the year. First officially, but 2nd one in our book because he scored in the opener, and those goals were officially wiped out as the opponent in the opener, the Riverview Gabriel Richard Pioneers, were deemed to have forfeited that game due to an ineligible player. But Jack Reynolds has had a nice start to his junior season, and that's including the shootout winner against the Bay Reps last Friday in the West Michigan Hockey Showcase. So back-to-back weekends in showcase environments for the Cougars. They're now 6-2 on the season. They've scored 20 goals. They've allowed 23, so their goal differential dips below the break-even point for the first time in a while after the 7-2 loss to Powers Catholic yesterday. As for the Jeffers Jets, they've scored plenty of goals. They're averaging nearly 5 goals per game. They're led by the left-handed shooting forward Brogan Turner, who has 13 goals and 17 points to lead the Jets, who are in first place, actually tied for first place in the Great Lakes Hockey Conference. They're ranked 7th in the latest D3 poll put on by Michigan High School Hockey Hub, and they're coached by Aaron Helmanen. And Turner's got those 13 goals, and Tej Rayala has 11 assists to lead this squad. And keep an eye on Griffin Heinonen on the back end, 2 goals and 9 points. As a defenseman, pretty impressive numbers. We anticipate Kaysen Helmanen to be the starting goalie. He wears the captain's C on his chest. He's played all but 2 periods so far this season for the Jets. And, of course, he will oppose Jacob Aaron in the Cougars' net, the only goalie on the roster. Mr. Aaron has a .905 save percentage and a 2.43 goals against average with 1 shutout this season. This is his 2nd year as the starter, the only starter for Catholic Central. So Aaron skates to the blue line. He's part of the starting lineup for Catholic Central. There you see Noah Onstadt lining up as well. Onstadt is the team leader in both goals and points. Well, 4 goals. He's tied for the team lead with Cooper Moss. 7 points, has them all by himself atop the team's scoring list. All the more impressive when you consider he's a defenseman. The D-men are getting into the action much more this year for the Cougars. Starting forwards for today's game for Catholic Central, we've got the freshman Gage Potter alongside Cade Heminger and Isaac Kappinga, who picked up his 2nd assist of the season with a power move that led to Gage Potter's goal in the 2nd period. But the Cougars allowed 3 power play goals to Powers Catholic, who certainly lived up to their name. It was a Powers play, if you will, for the Chargers. And so special teams will be an emphasis for sure this afternoon against the offensively potent Jeffers Jets. Time for the national anthem from here in Gaylord. Back for the drop of the puck at the D3 Challenge after this. So greetings from the great white north, and it is indeed white right now. The lake effect snow is blowing around. Just hope we get out of here this afternoon. I really enjoyed my time with the team and the parents and the families last night after the game against Powers Catholic. We made the half an hour hike or so down the road to Lewiston, to the Lewiston Curling Club. And I'm reminded of that by seeing the curling targets, or the houses, so to speak, painted on the ice here at the Otsego County Sportsplex. But this curling club, more than 60 years old, really quaint setting. There's an area, like a balcony, where you can watch the action, as it were, down there on the ice. We learned a lot about how to deliver the stone, as they call it, and we'll be watching the curling competition in the upcoming Olympics in a couple of months. So I have a whole new appreciation for how difficult it is to even just push out of the starting blocks and get that stone anywhere near its intended target. So from that ice game to this ice game, we're about set to play hockey on Cougar Puck Radio. Cougars versus the Jeffers Jets out of the UP, based just south of Houghton, in fact, in the town of Painesdale. As it's rifled across in the Jets' end, deflected ahead by Brogan Turner, their leading scorer, and knocked forward. Here is Turner with an early chance against Aaron, who snaps it up, and there's no rebound. 18 seconds into the first period. Brogan Turner in a bid for his 14th goal of the season, but he's turned away by Aaron. Jacob's dad, in fact, was our skip on the curling team that we put together hastily last night. Icing against the Jeffers Jets. Catholic Central, I mentioned, at 6-2 on the season. Their 5-game win streak ended yesterday against Powers Catholic. In their 5-game win streak, they allowed just 6 total goals. So the Chargers putting up 7. That was certainly an impressive performance. And in discussing that with Coach Marchand, he said that's just a really good hockey team. A lot of skill, a lot of pace, and the Cougars hope to learn from that as Onstadt tried to hack it toward the front. Carlander turned it, but off a Jets skate. The Jets, again, out of the Great Lakes Hockey Conference, where they're tied for first. The Cougars are tied for first in the OK Roo, one of 3 teams with 6 wins, along with Caledonia and East Grand Rapids. Out of the corner comes Casey Ten Harmsel. Fed into the skates of Cooper Moss, who takes a look, buying some time. Good stick handling. Moss had 2 really good chances in the first yesterday, and he cruises down the right wing here, centered it in front for Dozema, but he fanned on the one-timer. Dozema 4 assists on the season, but looking for his first goal. Breaking back Rayala, a wrister on the cutback move, off the stick of Aaron and up into the screen. Tej Rayala, 4 goals, 11 assists, 15 total points on the year for the Jets. The Jets have 5 skaters on a point-per-game pace early on this season, also including Easton Terrian with 11 points, Max Nordstrom with 14, and Cameron Anderson with 14. Catholic Central's played a lot more low-scoring games than Jeffers, just looking at the goals for and against. Nudge toward the front, dangerous puck, and Jack Reynolds pulls out of some skates and reverses the flow of play. Over to Morgan Pristelli's corner. Caleb McLean helps it, and here's Pristelli getting his feet moving. Lofted it toward the red line, but that's gloved down by Noah Randall, and he shoves it in deep. Or pardon, that was Ryan Terpinen, excuse me. Far side toe drag move by Drake Heinonen, and he couldn't get by. You'll notice a lot of Finnish-sounding last names for the Jeffers Jets, and that part of the UP. You've had so many folks who settled there generations ago, coming from the nation of Finland. Twisted back in deep by Cameron Anderson. That's more of a Swedish sound. L'Espérance, and that's French as he centered it out in front, clear to the blue line. And Drake Heinonen, or pardon me, Griffin Heinonen tried to get it toward the front. There are 3 Heinenens on the Jeffers team, so I'll try to use first names when I can. Parker Moore, there's only one more this year. He clears it out for Catholic Central. Griffin Heinonen drubbing his way back in. A shot, he scored! Griffin Heinonen, the defenseman, scores his 3rd goal of the year. And with 14:20 left in the first, Jeffers has the first goal of this game. An impressive rising shot as the Jets have tried to cut back as they've carried the puck in over the blue line in the early going. And that time it pays off, a rifle into the top left corner. And for the second straight game, Catholic Central's got to play from behind. Not where they want to be, but just down 1 as Kappinga gets the offense going. Jeffers has been good in the neutral zone. They've prevented the Cougars from breaking it out like they want to in the early going. Here's Gavorkian, who picked up his first assist of the season yesterday afternoon. But again, turned over right to the front of the goal, and L'Espérance had his stick lifted at the last second. Centering pass from Turner. Nearly created the second Jeffers goal, but here's Kappinga collecting the feed from Gavorkian. Heminger got on the wrong side of the puck, and the Jets try to break it out. L'Espérance's feed was redirected up into the air, and Kappinga flagged it down. It's back in the possession of Onstad. Gavorkian coming over to help out his defense partner. But Heminger lost control of it. Sharp angle chance off the outside of the goal from Anderson. Cameron Anderson trying to buy a lottery ticket there from the corner, but he couldn't nail it. And Blake Heltonen pulled the puck in over the blue line for Jeffers, but it was offside. So Catholic Central wraps up its 4th consecutive showcase game here today. They'll have Granville at home on Wednesday. And more on the schedule in just a little bit as we get back to normal OK conference play. Dozema, the shot. That rattled off the body of Reese Laitala. Carlander trying to pull it free. Blake Heltonen again, the alternate captain for Jeffers. Relays to center. Dozema pounces on that loose puck. His attempted shoot in, though, hit a man in Jeffers' colors. That's Laitala, but Dozema stole it right back. Fed it around the kick plate, all the way on this near side wall. Cooper Moss, joined by Carlander on the forecheck. Laitala tries to clear for Jeffers, and he will. Rifled right back in by Ten Harmsel. The Cougars making a line change. They get Jensen and Berkmeyer and Collinon out there. Jensen and Berkmeyer, the 2 towering wingers alongside Collinon in the middle of the ice. Terrian clipped it over to Terpinen, but he lost control to Parker Moore of Catholic Central. Moore put it in the skates of the referee in the corner. Moore's got to try again. That was touched by a high stick, but that's wiped out because Jensen knocked it ahead. Moore settles a loose puck at the side of the net with help from Jacob Aaron. 1-0 Jeffers on a Griffin Heinonen wrist shot just a couple of minutes ago. Ten Harmsel, good bank play to Berkmeyer, just couldn't handle it cleanly. He had Jensen going to the goal. Berkmeyer trying to get to that puck on the corner, but he's run off the disc. Cade Coppinen gave it away. Jensen wristing into traffic, and that hit a body. It was blocked by Turpinen. Coppinen in over the blue. Stripped of the puck by Ten Harmsel. Area pass. Jensen ushering it in. Good work from this line to try to tilt the ice back the other way, but in transition comes Carson L'Esperance. Ten Harmsel picked his pocket, though. Down in the near side corner, Ten Harmsel tries to hold the puck there. Anderson takes over for Jeffers. 11 minutes to go in the first period. The pass eludes the reach of Jensen, so Jeffers shoves it right back in. They tag up, no offside. Ten Harmsel looking up. Guns it up the far wall. Jensen can't get there in time to flush it out. Anderson, Turner a shot from nearly the corner, and that's off of Aaron, and the whistle sounds. The net is off its moorings. That left post was a few inches away from the goal line. So if that shot from Turner would have gone in, I don't think it would have counted. Unless Aaron bumped it in the process of pinning himself to that short side post. 10:48 left in the frame. Turner right to the front, and the Cougars took the body effectively there as they popped the puck loose, knocking down L'Esperance. Reynolds, lateral pass away from the reach of McLean. Rattling around in the Jeffers zone. Turner off the far wall. Anderson revs it up, and he's spun off on a good hit by Cohen Potter. Free to McLean. Good move in the slot, but just couldn't turn it over for the forehand chance. Reynolds trying to get there and close off space. That does force the turnover. Out of neutral ice, Pastelli hit up high. That'll be a penalty against Jeffers. Brogan Turner got Pastelli up on the noggin. That's an elbowing call against the co-captain of the Jets. And Catholic Central gets the first power play of the game with 10:06 to play in the first period. Looks like the penalty is just of the 2-minute variety. You always got to hold on stuff like elbowing. Violent penalty by nature. Sometimes you'll see 5 minutes issued there. Ten Harmsel passed it off the skate of Rayala. Right back to Casey. Ten Harmsel, Carlander's open, and he hit the crossbar. He hit the post yesterday, too, against Powers Catholic. Carlander's close to getting another goal. Ten Harmsel. Carlander scored against the Huron Valley Titans last week on a deflection on a power play from a Ten Harmsel shot. And there is Ten Harmsel surrounding it, feeding it, handcuffed Moss. He hightails it into the offensive zone, tries to pick it up. Nordstrom, though, bumps it out over the blue line. And the puck touched by a high stick by Catholic Central, and that brings the faceoff all the way back down into Cougars territory. Thanks for watching on Cougar Puck Radio. We're here from the Otsego County Sportsplex, the very snowy Gaylord, Michigan, the Alpine Village, as they call themselves up here. And yeah, it feels like we're somewhere in the Swiss Alps at the moment. That snow's blowing around. I know Grand Rapids got a few inches of snow last night, too. Lake effect in full effect. Bang back to the Cougars line. Onstad couldn't knock it down with a skate. Ten Harmsel will gladly take over. Good lead pass. Carlander slicing through neutral ice. Left it there at the blue line to Kappinga. Area pass for Ten Harmsel. On the overlap, he does flag it down on second effort. Plays it back. Onstad shooting along the ice. Pad save made by Helmanen. I think that's his first save of the game. Carlander to the doorstep, shoved just wide by Moss across his body. Onstad, power play continues for the Cougars. Carlander across, Onstad. Heavy pressure from Jeffers out high. The pass goes off a Jet skate, and it redirects out to center. 32 seconds left on the power play for the Cougars. Brogan Turner, the Jets' leading scorer, in the box for elbowing. Capping a great move, takes the shot, save made, rebound in the crease, and cleared away by Drake Heinonen. Back to the blue, Moore closes, center, score! There he is again! Gage Potter, power play goal, tied 1-1. Welcome to the good life. Gage Potter's got his 4th of the year, and once again, it's right there on the doorstep. Moore with a great pass. Catholic Central stuck with it, and they convert on the advantage. to tie at 1-1 midway through the opening period. They just kept knocking at that door, and Potter deposits it behind Kaysen Helmanen. And on the quick move in after the neutral zone face-off, it's Cohen Potter, his older brother, the junior. Played it back to Moore. His shot deflected by Reynolds. Rebound score from the angle. And it's a Potter party in Gaylord, 2-1. Cohen Potter finishes it off, his first of the season. And he shoots to thrill from the side of the net. 2 goals in 14 seconds for Catholic Central. Cougs jump on top on a greasy one, but accurate shot. Beautiful shot from Cohen Potter. L'Espérance trying to beat Aaron short side, and Jacob shuts it down, and he pounces on the rebound, pinning it to the ice with his glove. So Gage Potter, then Cohen Potter. Power play goal, even strength goal. Carlander wins the faceoff. That's the shot of adrenaline the Cougars were looking for. Drive wide from the far boards by Brogan Turner. Headman pass, Moss one-on-one through neutral ice. Moss, toe drag attempt. Noah Randall deflected it away to the end boards. Puck in the skates of Moss. Anderson escaping, but not for long. Pastelli sends it right back into Jets real estate. 7.5 to go in the first period. The Cougars gave up the first one, but 2 responses in quick succession. Offside, Jeffers. Moore forced Nordstrom to carry it wide, or wider than he wanted to. That delayed the rush, and Terrian was ahead of the play. And I think Parker Moore is going to get an assist on the Cohen Potter goal too. So 2 assists for the defenseman as he got that point shot through, and the rebound scooted over off the pads of Helmanen to Cohen. Max Nordstrom working behind the goal as Jeffers now playing from behind. To the point, Heltonen, and that didn't get through. Too many bodies between him and the net. Centering play by Rayala, intercepted by Cade Heminger, excuse me, and he lifted it off the window. Out it goes. Laitala delivers it on the tape of Terrian. Relays it forward. Rayala couldn't get there ahead of the smooth skating Ten Harmsel. Heminger wide open. Connects to Gage Potter, trying to get around the corner against Heltonen, who slammed him into the boards, but Potter keeps on going. Potter, Kappinga, and Heminger, the forward line out there for Coach Marchand and the Cougars. Onstadt drives it right back in deep. No icing, waved off. Initially, the official's hand was in the air. Long clearing pass and scooped up on the bounce by Turpainen. And he shoots off the outside of the goal. That's the 3rd time a Jeffers skater has tried to beat Aaron from that left corner. I don't know if there's a scouting reporter or something, but Aaron's made the save every time. Moss drifts a shot just wide from the right circle as he continues to be dangerous this weekend. Onstadt closing and shooting, and through a screen, Helmanen made the save. Onstadt just took the available space, and the Jets backed off. Dozema rifles the pass. Carlander couldn't grab it. Huskins keeps it in at the blue line, the freshman D with his first touch of the puck today. And it was an effective one. Back to Huskins. He shoots off a leg. Carlander trying to get a stick on it, but even with his long reach, he can't get the puck back. Onstadt hammers it just wide of the goal from center ice, and there is the icing against Catholic Central. Helmanen let that one go wisely. If he touched it, it would have just continued on with the play. I mentioned both these teams tied for first in their respective divisions. course, these teams would likely never get together without a showcase environment like this. It'll be about an 8-hour drive from Grand Rapids up to Painesdale, up there in Copper Country. Players come together, players hitting the ice, and the puck came right out in front, but no one was there for Jeffers. Turner, the closest one, he had to go pick up his stick as he dropped it on a collision. Back to the red line, Laitala turns tail and looks for it, finds it, hits Heltonen with a cross-ring pass. L'Esperance to Anderson, driving against Gavorkian. Oh, he scored! Oh, my goodness. Cameron Anderson right under the bar, and it's 2-2. And if you like offense, this is the first period for you. Anderson scores his 10th of the year, nearly on a goal-per-game pace, and you can see why with a shot like that. Not just the shot, but the stick handling move to get himself into a position where he could fire it under the crossbar and tie it 2-2 with 4:22 remaining in the first period. And a reminder, we'll have a full intermission after the first, and then we play the second and the third back-to-back. Just try to keep things on schedule here up in Gaylord. So the Cougars concede for the second time, lobbed in on goal, and Helmonen makes the stop from center ice on Cade Heminger. Yes, that counts as a shot on goal. Moore, 2 assists already today, gloves it down, feeds Gage Potter, turning a shot, and Heminger couldn't quite get everything he wanted on that hook shot basically in front of the net as he twisted around and put the forehand on target, and that's offside. Or no, excuse me, that puck went into the Jeffers bench. That's the reason for the stoppage. So for the Jets, Griffin, Heinonen, and Cameron Anderson have scored. And for the Cougars, it's the brothers. The brothers Potter, Gage first, and then Cohen. Up through center ice, Easton Terrien. It's a quick developing 2-on-1, and a pass back for Terrien by Nordstrom, but the Cougars' Parker Moore had recovered to break that up. Gage Potter on the move, his backhand flip. That was deflected by Drake Heinonen. The Cougars still get it deep with 3.5 to go in an action-packed first period. Heminger looking to stuff it, and instead, Kaysen Helmonen, the netminder, melts it down at the side of his goal. 3:22 remaining. Big thanks to our gold sponsor, Innovia Wealth, for making Catholic Central hockey possible once again, season 52 for the Cougars. And the Royal Blue sponsors, Chris Back, Fox Motors, Sharp Automotive, and 3-in-1 Solutions. Big thanks for supporting the team. Collinon ties up Anderson at the dot, but the Jets take control. L'Esperance back to the defenseman Heltonen, and quickly up ice to Turner. Doesn't shoot from the corner this time, but he banked it off a Cougars skate, and Aaron had to make a stick save. Bad sense of deja vu there, as that's how Powers Catholic got a goal yesterday, angling a puck off a Catholic Central defender and behind the goaltender. Didn't happen this time, though. So maybe things are looking up in that regard in terms of fortune. Deflected out of play by Aaron, and that forces another defensive zone draw for the Cougars as they'll send Jackson Dozema over the wall to take the draw. Mentioning later this week, the Cougars will play against Granville, I guess early next week. Granville on Wednesday, 8 o'clock from Southside, and then they'll host the Midland Dow Chargers on Saturday. That's scheduled for 3:30 at the Blue Rink at Southside. Hope to see you at one or both of those games, as we're on the verge of Christmas break, 1 week to go. But who's counting? Onstadt latches onto the puck. Sprays some snow, heads out the other way, connects onto Moss. He's creamed by Drake Heinonen, and but still, Moss got the puck going forward. Stumble by Reese Laitala, and Catholic Central takes over. Dozema's pass, though, was blocked. Heltonen up the near wall, doesn't get out. Carlander shooting as he fell back to try to get into a good defensive position, and he just hammered that toward net. The save was made by Helmonen, and he covered the rebound with Moss lurking, waiting for anything to spill off the goalie's pads. Didn't happen, though. We are tied 2-2. If you're joining us late, Jeffers led 1-0. Cougars led 2-1. Gavorkian hammers a shot. That skipped wide of the goal. That was a weird one on the way to the net. You don't often see a puck bounce on a slap shot, but we did there. Stepping up and firing from the point was Heminger, and that ricocheted off Hellman and high in the air for a moment. It looked like it might jump in behind him into the net, but he and his defenders tracked it well enough to get it back and clear it. Kappinga. A pass off the skate of Terrian. Still in the attacking zone for the Jets. Nordstrom left it, shot by Heinonen, who scored earlier in this period, gloved by Aaron and held. So there's Griffin Heinonen, he's the defenseman who has scored in this game already. Drake Heinonen, the forward. And Hudson Heinonen, another forward. Postelli gathers the face-off win. 1:16 to go in the period. Moore, a backhand, good feet ahead, but just away from McLean, so Catholic Central's got to regroup. Postelli to Moore. Moore off the wall. That was touched by Randall, so no icing, and fielded in front of his net by Griffin Heinonen. Dished up the near wing. Anderson, far side pass, that's offside. Turner took a shot after the whistle, and Moore gives him a whack across the shin pads for that perceived indiscretion. I'm sure Turner would argue, hey, I already decided to shoot before I heard the whistle. Which, hey, if you believe him, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. Up for interpretation. 53 seconds to go in the period. And after the offside, we've got a neutral zone draw coming up. Ice. Griffin Heinonen, the re-rack for the Jets. Anderson, who has scored in this game. Right back to Griffin Heinonen, a shot off of Aaron. Rebound Anderson, throws it out in front, scooting around into the slot, and a shot by L'Esperance was blocked. 25 seconds to go. Catholic Central trying to survive. Oh, and L'Esperance cruises in, takes the loose puck, and stashes it behind Aaron for a 3-2 Jeffers lead. Back and forth we go at the D3 challenge. L'Esperance on the spot with 22 seconds remaining in the frame. And the Jets lead again. One of those scrambly situations for Catholic Central when they just couldn't get enough time to stick a fork in that puck and get it out. That's all they needed to do, but sometimes in hockey you just get chasing the puck, and that's what happened there. Moore turned it over. Griffin Heinonen, one last rush. 10 seconds to go in the period. Griffin Heinonen to the corner, and again, the Jets try that very low percentage shot from the corner. I'll just continue to note it. That's the fourth time. That time it missed, and time runs out, as you probably heard the buzzer over your device speaker. So Catholic Central had a 2-1 lead briefly, but Jeffers pushes back to take a 3-2 lead. L'Esperance scores in the final minute. Cougars goals scored by the brothers Potter, Gage, and Cohen. We'll take a break for an ice resurfacing from Otsego County Sportsplex. This is Cougar Puck Radio as Catholic Central locked in a good one with the Jeffers Jets. Period number 2 coming up from the D3 Challenge in Gaylord. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is Cougar Puck Radio. Second of 2 games on the weekend for both these teams. Both teams lost yesterday in different fashions. The Cougars fell behind 3-0 and couldn't catch up against the Mighty Powers Catholic Chargers. They ended up dropping that one by a 7-2 count. Meanwhile, the Jeffers Jets rallied from 2-0 down to lead Divine Child 3-2 going into the final 65 seconds of their game yesterday before the Divine Child Falcons scored 2 before the buzzer, including the game winner with 5 seconds left. That's a tough way to lose, but the Jets have rebounded well so far in the first period. And it was a topsy-turvy opening 17 minutes. Jeffers led 1-0. Catholic Central was ahead 2-1. Now Jeffers back on top. Looking at other results from yesterday, Alpena beat Grosse Ile 3-0. Detroit Country Day beat Chelsea 6-2. And actually, the Yellow Jackets of Country Day are 2-0, or went 2-0 on the weekend. They're done up here. They also beat Grosse Ile 5-3 before we came on the stage here. Dumped in by the Cougars. Let's see what they can get going. Get you some more scores as time permits. Moss jumping on that puck. Joined by Carlander, centering on the backhand, looking for Dozema, and that's off a skate. Back to the point on Stott, and he drubbed the shot right to the goal. Hellman in the save, and a minimal rebound that he covers up. Big Rapids shut out Manistique 6-0 yesterday. And Gibraltar Carlson had the biggest win by margin in day 1 of the challenge. They took down the host Gaylord Blue Devils 9-1. On his butt is Carlander, shuffles it onto Moss. So that was a mini hockey play, like he was in his basement, and he nudged it right over to Moss, and he was denied by Helmanen. Carlander, now standing on his skates, tries to center it. That was a fun play. It's a shame it didn't go in. As it's taken over by the Jeffers Jets, and it's Anderson, who scored back in the first. Handing off, Turner, a wrister, snatched by Aaron, and no further play. Catholic Central makes the line change, as it'll be the capping a line. Back out over the boards. Postelli ducks behind his net, using it as a protective mechanism. And hey, why not if it's there? Heminger couldn't make any headway. Jeffers, I thought they iced the puck. Instead, play allowed to continue on. A little more than a minute into the second period. The Cougars trailing for the second time today. Gage Potter redirects it ahead, and icing's wiped out this time too. Noah Randall ruled to have been able to play that puck. Turned it over. Heminger scores! We're tied at 3. Look what I found. Cade Heminger in front of the net. And he's rolling down Rodeo. His second goal of the year. And we've got quite the entertaining one on a Saturday afternoon. So the icing wiped out ended up being quite consequential. And that is certainly an unassisted goal. No replay review needed for me after the period. Dumped in on Jacob Aaron, and it goes thump off his pad. Delivered ahead. Heminger grabbed it at center ice. Heminger had it, and you can almost overthink your shot selection in that situation, but to his credit, he didn't. He just powered it right by Helmanen on the left post. Moore, what a toe drag, shoots, and it's off the leg of Ryan Turpinen. In behind the goal. Gage Potter looking to center for Heminger. He was open, but it hit the stick of Helmanen, the goalie. To the middle, Kappinga twists it back on the backhand to the front of the crease, and it was defended away by the Jets. So the Cougars have some jump in their step. Goals change games, as they say. Heminger in after it, but it's icing that time. I guess can't complain too much because the canceled icing led to his last goal, but if this were a different level of play, different league, you could cancel out icing by being the first one on it. Not in USA hockey high school play, though. from the face-off. Cohen Potter pumped it forward. Here's Caleb McLean. He sends Reynolds away with some speed. Churning those legs, Reynolds down the wall. Tried to stuff it in front. It drifted off his stick. Played around the kick plate and out. Gevorkian's got to hightail it back. Gevorkian pulls it off the end wall on the fresh ice. His pass skips right by Reynolds, and he was behind the red line even if he did touch it, which I don't think he did. Another icing called. Again, thank you to our gold sponsor, Inovia Wealth, for bringing you not only Catholic Central hockey, but also our broadcast here on Cougar Puck Radio. My name is Matt Gajtka. Thank you for joining me. It's probably snowy where you are. Well, I shouldn't assume that. We've got some out-of-state viewers. I know that much. We are firmly in winter's grasp, though, up here in Michigan, especially up here on the 45th parallel, as we've got a penalty behind the play, or called behind the play. Interference is the initial signal from the referee at center, and it goes against Catholic Central. The door to the penalty box is open, and I heard the referee say 5, so it's Alex Gevorkian to the box. First time shorthanded today for the Cougars. Gave up 3 power play goals yesterday, and I mentioned in the pregame this would be a point of emphasis for them. Wrister off the goalpost from the left side. Nordstrom rings iron, and Jeffers starts the power play in unsettling fashion if you're a Cougar. But Nordstrom recollects. Out to Heltonen, shooting. Aaron saw it through a screen and kicked it out. Key save. Heltonen again assesses his options as he runs the point. Griffin Heinen a shot, and that's blocked in front. Terrian was tied up with more, or excuse me, that was Carlander. Actually, Carlander working the net front and doing well, and both he and Moss check out of the game to get some fresh skaters out there. Heltonen leading the charge back for the Jeffers Jets. Griffin Heinen to Max Nordstrom below the goal line. Nordstrom using his long reach, but it's poked away from him. Onstad, though, couldn't clear. Heltonen a shot, redirected. Aaron kicked it out. Another rebound free in the low slot, and it scoots over to the near side boards. Nordstrom to Griffin Heinen, back to Nordstrom. Ten Harmsel pried it loose. Looks and clears, and we've got another penalty. Slashing is the call. And I think it's against Catholic Central again. Yes, the penalty box is open to our right, and it's about to be a 2-man advantage. Onstad to the box this time. 42 seconds remaining on the first penalty to Gevorkian for interference. So a 5-on-3 upcoming for Jeffers in a 3-3 game. 12:20 left in the second. This is the third straight game in which the Cougars have played in which we've seen a 5-on-3, but not for them this time. Last 2, they've had 5-on-3 power plays. As the Jets settle in, centering, side of the net, Turner, and he's robbed by Aaron. Great save. It's in his glove. I was trying to figure out where the puck went. Outstanding stop. 27 seconds remaining on the 5-on-3. And Aaron denies 13-goal scorer Brogan Turner from the side of the net. Same spot where Cohen Potter finished it off in the first period. Off the face-off, the Jets control. Griffin Heinen, Blake Heltonen, far side, and Brogan Turner hammers it, and that might have gone off of Aaron, might have jumped off a Cougar defender, but it goes out of play. So the face-off stays in Cougars territory. 15 seconds before Gevorkian escapes the box. Nordstrom wins the faceoff. Turner shoots and scores. He goes right upstairs with a brilliant finish, and Turner nets his 14th of the season, and it's a two-man advantage goal for Jeffers, and that's critical because they'll stay on the power play with 11:50 left in the second. Nordstrom won the draw right to Turner, who was in the shooting hole there, and Jeffers leads for the third time this afternoon, 4-3. Had a blocker side shot by the lefty shooting Turner. And yeah, you can see how he's averaging more than a goal per game this season. Cleared around and out, though, by Parker Moore. Heltonen controls. Jeffers keeps a lot of the same guys out there trying to score on both ends of this penalty sequence. But here's Ten Harmsel as he steals the puck away from Turner and fires it all the way down 200 feet. Moss on the chase, trying to force a turnover. Cooper Moss has a shorthanded goal this year. Actually, it was a two-man shorthanded goal, if you will. 3-on-5 that he got against Gabriel Richard in the opener. One of two shorties on the season for Catholic Central. Moore's got the other one. Here's a shot, though, from Nordstrom, and he pulled the trigger and missed to the top right corner. Heltonen. Anderson shooting, blocker save Aaron as he pushed out atop his crease. Moore sends it ahead, nearly had Reynolds for a shorthanded chance, but it eluded him. 30 seconds to go on the penalty to Onstadt. Moore hops on a turnover for Catholic Central. He's got Cohen Potter in the middle, but Parker Moore content to just pin that puck to the wood and waste some time. Potter couldn't pull it away. Anderson lugs it through, shoots into the glove of Aaron, and he's going to hang on with 10:28 to go in the second. 9 seconds remaining on that power play. So both teams have scored on the advantage in this game. Jeffers 1 for 1. The Cougars 9 seconds away from making them 1 for 2. Capping mucks it up at the face-off dot, but the Jets still control. It's L'Esperance. He scored late in the first to make it a 3-2 Jeffers lead. Neither team is led by more than one in this game. Kappinga muscles it out to center. Power play over. Jeffers is 1 for 2. We're back to 5-on-5. Turpinen guides it around, and it scoots over to L'Esperance's corner, near side. Tej Rayala fed it to Turpinen, right to the front of the net, and fended off by Catholic Central. Gavorkian and company rallying to their goaltender's assistance. Heltonen reversed the play. Griffin Heinonen, he stops there as he's pursued closely by Gage Potter. His backhand around the near wall. Gavorkian, good little pass. High in the zone to Heminger, who has the Cougars' third goal today. Gavorkian to Kappinga, confronted by a couple of Jets on the near wall. Jeffers overloading this near side to win the puck back. That means Pastelli's open on the far wing. Oh, he's hit from behind, and he goes stumbling into the wall. No penalty called. The other way we go. Turner getting around Gavorkian. Turner's in. Couldn't turn it over on the backhand side. Turner dishes it back to the point. Randall left it there, and Gage Potter grabs it back. He tried to send it ahead for Heminger, who got the stick up there on Anderson. So I think both teams have gotten away with one in the last half minute. Drake Heinonen drifts it well wide from 50 feet out. If there's such a thing as a make-up no call, I think we just saw it. I think the referees believe they missed one against Jeffers, so they let the Cougars push the envelope. Either way, we remain at 5-on-5. More than midway through regulation. 8:24 left in the second. Dozema shovels it off the glass. In deep, Moss occupies a couple of Jets there. Now 3 Jets in the corner. There's Dozema delivering it back. Onstadt, high shot deflected by Carlander over the glass. And it's out of play into the screen. 1 goal apiece in this period. Catholic Central scored. Heminger unassisted. Just a minute and a half into the frame to make it 3-3. Jeffers answered back with a 5-on-3 power play goal by Turner. One of those games where it feels like you're skating uphill, as the Cougars have trailed for the majority of it now. But still well within touch. And the bouncing puck ends up in Helmanen's real estate there in the crease. He hangs on. Face off again from that same dot. Dozema won it cleanly. Ten Harmsel trying to create a shot angle, and does. I think Moss got a piece of that. High off the glass, stays in play on the deflection. Moss wrenches it free. Dozema overlaps to take it. Moss powers his way to the high slot. Gave it to Ten Harmsel. Backside pass for Dozema. Just too many sticks and bodies in the way for that to connect. Onstad hops on the loose puck at center. He intercepted the pass and drove it right back in behind the Jeffers goal. Helmanen, the goaltender, around the near side. Cohen Potter. The puck flips up in the air. Potter collides with Nordstrom. They joust for it. Potter gave it back to Ten Harmsel. To the middle, McLean. And he just missed on the one-timer. Cleared off the window and down, but no icing. Ten Harmsel scoops it on his backhand, now turns to his forehand side. On his off wing, jersey flapping in the breeze, left it there for Potter. His shot pass to the front. Ten Harmsel got a slight deflection on it, but Helmanen made the stop with the pad, and he gets another face-off. Just under 7 to go in the second. So just, 3 games left for Catholic Central before the Christmas break. They've got Granville, they've got Midland Dow, and they've got, there's a shot off the crossbar, from the outside by Morgan Pastelli, and it deflects into the screen. Trying to retrieve that puck, and it does come back into play. That close to a 4-4 game, and you could see Pastelli smiling about his bad luck there. That close to scoring from distance. Didn't look like much of a chance. But now both he and Carlander have hit the post in this game. Driving down the wall, Anderson to the middle with a pass to Turner, and it just eluded his reach. Turner back on the puck below the goal line. Top line out there for Jeffers. Moore staples him to the boards. Loose puck. Cohen Potter dished it up to Reynolds, and he clears. Off the skate of Noah Randall. McLean, good forechecking effort, but the puck still squirts to center. Moore wedged off it by Turner. Turner goes right up the middle with it to L'Esperance. Good save, Aaron. Keep it a 1-goal game. But stepping up, Anderson for Jeffers. Lost control of the puck. Cohen Potter can't clear. Turner right on goal with that from out by the blue line. And Aaron made the pad stop. Pastelli revs it up. Long lead delivery. Intercepted at center ice by Griffin Heinonen. Parker Moore's got to try again from behind his goal. Moore off the boards. Out it goes. Randall to Griffin Heinonen, back to Randall. Oh my, he is smashed by Cohen Potter. Got him right up under the chin. Legal hit, the referee was right there. Broken up at center, Kappinga's got a breakaway. Blocker save by Kaysen Helmanen. Isaac Kappinga denied his 3rd goal of the year. Would have tied it up. That came out of nowhere, just the puck bouncing around wildly in the neutral zone, and suddenly it was on number 16's tape. Poked away from behind the net by Kappinga. Trying to make amends for the breakaway miss as he pursues Ryan Turpinen, who scoots it below the Cougars' goal. Distributed right back up the far wing to Gage Potter. Good pass to Heminger. Turns it back into Jets territory. Reese Laitala, has his pass intercepted by the pinching Noah Onstad. Getting in there after Griffin Heinonen, but the Jets find a way to settle it down. 4.5 left in the second. Heltonen Opens up, makes the pass right wing, deflected high in the air. And Heminger called for a hand pass. I don't think he touched that with his hand. It's one of those where the official was screened out a little bit, and I think he just assumed what happened, but Catholic Central is going to have to deal with a defensive zone draw. So, as I was saying before, Catholic Central's got Granville at home on Wednesday. Next Saturday, home against Midland Dow, and then on the road at Caledonia, and what could be a showdown for first place. That'll be on Monday the 22nd. I was trying to spit that out earlier before Pistelli hit the post. Heltonen puts it right on goal. Aaron the pad save. Jeffers just getting a lot of shots through from the outside, but Aaron has been equal to all those point drives. Up the near boards, Moss, after Gavorkian took a hit to make the play and get the puck out of the zone. And the puck deflects off someone on the Jeffers bench. And that halts the action with 3:59 to go in the period. Jeffers had 8-0 to Calumet, a division rival. That'd be a shock to the system. And like I said, from 3-2 up to 4-3 down in the final minute yesterday against Divine Child. So the Jets are going through an early gut check this season. Down the far wall, Rayala trying to throw it to the front. Catholic Central defends it well. Ten Harmsel clears it up the wall. There's Carlander, and he's got Moss wide open at the red line. Moss scanning, feeding Ten Harmsel, who joined the rush, but the pass just ahead of him. Ten Harmsel tried to center, and that's taken away by Griffin Heinonen, who plays a ton for Jeffers. Long distance drive by Turner, snatched by Aaron, and he gets the defensive zone face-off. 3:02 to go in the second. Jeffers, though, has cleaned up against some league foes. They scored 9 goals against Sheboygan, 9 against Nagani, 5 against Escanaba, 5 more against Kingsford. Chance off the face-off right to the front, and Aaron has it covered. Drake Heinonen looking for his first goal of the season. He went right to the goal off the face-off. Scramble draw. Turpinen managed to nudge it in behind Kappinga. Back out to the point on the resulting draw. Kappinga turned it over behind the goal. That was a bouncing puck. Didn't get much on it. Kappinga grabs it back, though, protecting it and giving to Pistelli, who does a button hook behind his goal, looking for an avenue, an escape hatch, and he finds it with the pass to Onstad. Up the far wing, he scoops it in the direction of Kappinga, who deflects it ahead. Chasing in after it, Isaac Kappinga, the captain of the Cougars, senior forward. Stripped, though, and run off the puck by Blake Heltonen. Onstad holds it at the point. Gage Potter down the wall. He scored to open the Catholic Central offensive output today, back in the first period. Kappinga grabs it from him. Onstad, a shot, save made, big rebound, and Potter is robbed by Helmonen from point-blank range. Jeffers gets the clear right on goal, so Aaron's got to play it. However, play is halted. Interference the call at center ice. And again, Catholic Central about to go short. Heminger to the box. Third penalty of this period against the Cougars. 1:58 left in the frame, so Catholic Central hopes that they'll be short the whole rest of the period, because that means they've done well in killing off another penalty. Jeffers is 1 for 2. On the advantage, Turner weaving his way to the front, but he's bumped off the puck, and Ten Harmsel finds some room to speed it all the way down. Heltonen, self-pass essentially, went off the net right to him. He wasn't intending to do that, at least I don't think so. Heltonen gets it back on the relay. Power play breakout for him all the way, nearly all the way. Now Nordstrom takes over. 90 seconds to go in the period. Back to the point. Heltonen. Heinonen to Heltonen. Back to Griffin Heinonen. Ten Harmsel fronting him out high. So is Moss. Big drive by Heltonen. Weakened on the way. Turning Nordstrom. And Aaron got a piece of that to keep it out. Doesn't have to be pretty. You just got to get in front of it. Carlander the intercept. He tried to send Moss ahead. But either way, it's a clearance for Catholic Central. 1 minute to go in the period. And we'll go by that clock as the penalty time will carry over just barely to the third if the Jets don't score. Nordstrom pulls up at the faceoff circle. Onstad trying to confront Hudson Heinonen, but couldn't quite get there. Or pardon me, that was Heltonen. Nordstrom offside. Jeffers. The timing of that re-entry was thrown off. Other notable results for Jeffers so far this season: they fell 4-1 to Houghton on the road, and in the only common opponent they'll have with Catholic Central this year, they beat Byron Center 4-3 in Sault Ste. Marie. Moore couldn't clear. It's off a Jet's body. 24 seconds to go in the period. High shot from the point by Anderson, fought off by Aaron. 17 seconds to go. Moore had a stick slashed out of his hands, but play continues. Anderson finesses it to the far side. Anderson looking up. Good move to the slot. Blocked by the sliding Moore, who still didn't have his stick. Now he can go get it. It's out of play over the glass. That's clutch defending, clutch penalty killing by Parker Moore in an adverse circumstance. I'm sure he thought there should have been a slashing call against Jeffers. There was not, but he kept on fighting. 3 seconds to go, 3.4 to be exact. And then a short break. The battle at the faceoff circle, to the sidewall, pushed right to the front as the buzzer sounds. Pastelli clears. And so it's a 4-3 deficit for Catholic Central through 2 periods. Both teams will stay on their benches. We'll break for 3 minutes and bring it back for the third. The Cougars have killed off the penalty for all intents and purposes. They can go back on the attack in just a few moments on Cougar Puck Radio. The referees summon the players back to the ice for the third period. Catholic Central in the blue, trailing at 4-3 against the Jeffers Jets from the UP. They've got the Winnipeg Jets looking logo with the outline of the UP behind it. They were green and white and black. And the power play for Jeffers is officially over. The Cougars have killed off 2 of 3 this afternoon. Trying to go back to it and tie the game once again. L'Esperance. Soft pass toward the slot. Swooping in to take it, Parker Moore. Off the glass it goes and out. Heltonen back to it. Turning this way and that. Into some danger as Heminger nearly headed him off at the pass. But here's some great skating by Cameron Anderson crossing over. And he's poke checked though. Loose at the face-off circle. Backhand by Turner. Rejected by Pastelli. Picked up by Gage Potter. And he sends it out the far side. Thanks for watching Cougar Puck Radio on a Saturday. We've got some great live numbers at the moment, so good to see folks tuning in. Heminger out of the box. Here he goes. Down the wing. Tej Rayala knocked it off his blade. Heminger gave him a little love tap as the play continues on. Carlander centering Onstad. Pad save by Kaysen Helmanen. Good early chance in the third for the Cougars. Pastelli settles in, out by the blue line. Feet across to Onstad. His shot, pad save. The rebound, Carlander couldn't get it on net. We've seen a Cougar score from that kind of an angle in this game. It was Cohen Potter back in the first on the rebound as well. At this stage of it, every shot's a good shot. Anderson. Powerfully through center, off the stick of Dozema. Right to the front goes the feed from Tej Rayala, and it was deflected out of play off the stick of Easton Tarian on the backside post. Maybe Aaron got his goal stick in there as well to prevent that connection. 15-17 to go in regulation. If we're tied after 3, we'll go to a shootout, just like the rules were last week. The Cougars won a shootout against Bay Reps 2-1 at the Patterson Ice Center. Back home in GR. No icing here. Onstad in hot pursuit. Moss latches onto it in the corner, but his delivery deflected. Stepping up, Ten Harmsel keeps it viable for a moment for the Cougars, but surging out of his own end, Latala right to the goal. It bounces in on Aaron, and he handles and settles it down for the faceoff. Three goals on the board for a Catholic Central. That's ahead of their season per game average. They've got 20 in 8 games. That's just shy of 3. They'd love to get a couple more offensive outbursts here. Get everyone feeling good about themselves on that side of the puck. They're going to need at least 5 to win today. Snapshot deflected by Cohen Potter. Well over the glass. Drake Heinonen with the chance down the right wing. Sometimes you're going to give up some goals, and sometimes you need to put in a few of your own. You can't always control games as well as you want. Drake Heinonen from the corner, and again, his play is tipped off the rink, this time by Parker Moore. I think that was intended to be a pass, though, from the corner from Drake Heinonen. Ryan Turpinen at the faceoff dot against Cohen Potter. Potter wins it with help from Alex Gavorkian. Gavorkian, though, pulled down Heinonen, who's centered, and Potter right there on the spot to take it away. Reynolds flushed it out. Jack Reynolds couldn't quite get there as Heltonen sent it across and driven right back in on Jacob Aaron from center ice by Reese Laitala, and Aaron doesn't want to take any chances. He holds on to the puck again. Just 3 minutes into the third. No goals yet in the third. By this point in both the first and second periods, we'd already seen tallies on the score sheet. Turning chance, oh my, Turner just missed off the face-off. That was a couple inches outside the left post. But we continue on in a 4-3 game. Onstadt relays. Heminger. He gets his feet moving. Down the wing, shooting. That's off the stick of Helmanen to the near side corner. Back out by the point Onstadt and handed it over to Anderson. Can he clear? Not quite yet, but Turner takes care of it the rest of the way. Whacked by Onstadt from in front of his own bench. Right back into Jets real estate. Griffin Heinonen fires it across. Heminger gets in after it. Now capping it. Takes over. Just poke check barely by Griffin Heinonen. Onstadt the shot. Deflected by Gage Potter, and Helmanen's got it covered. Great chance. Nearly another one for Gage Potter at the net front. But the freshman turned away by Helmanen. Just the one penalty called against Jeffers in this game. If the Cougars can keep the puck, I like their chances to force at least one more power play. Catholic Central is 1 for 1 on the power play today. More Arister through a screen and wide. Helmanen waved at it with the glove. Far side boards. Carlander, great job sealing off the wall to prevent the clearance. And now Moss taking the puck. Dozema with good puck support. He takes it too. Carlander. 10 Harmsel. Across to Moore. Another shot through a screen, but this time Helmanen saw around it to get the blocker save. Carlander again to the point, 10 Harmsel. A shot, score! Might have been deflected in front, but 10 Harmsel wires it home from the outside. 12:40 left, and we've got a new hockey game. 10 Harmsel first through the handshake line. That's probably his goal. Be good or be good at it. Casey from the blue line knots it up. That's his first goal this season. I thought he had his first goal against Huron Valley last week, but ended up being credited to Carson Carlander on the deflection. Carlander's going to get an assist on that goal, as is, I think, Jackson Dozema. As Dozema, on cue, charges in after it. Griffin Heinonen clearing play. That puck is bouncing crazily into the corner, and it settles short of the icing line. 10 Harmsel redirects it ahead. Dozema playing it in the direction of Moss. Stick check, though. Now Moss nearly got it by Heinonen. He took down Heinonen inadvertently. No penalty there, thank goodness, from the Cougars' perspective. It is 10 Harmsel, his first of the year from Carlander and Dozema, so for once I was able to eyeball it and get you the proper assist. Cohen Potter slicing in, and he missed the goal, but he drew a penalty. Drew a penalty to Cohen Potter, and he taps his stick on the ice. Catholic Central to the power play with 11.5 to go in this game. Just their second power play of the afternoon. That's just hard work by Potter to burst through the defense and draw the call. Griffin Heinonen into the box. Catholic Central led 2-1, but that's been their only lead today. Trying to change that. On the advantage. Big time chance. Capping flags it down out by the blue line. Has some room. Carlander quickly on to 10 Harmsel. Another shot through traffic and another save this time by Helmanen. Carlander on the rebound though. And the Cougars just filtering pucks toward the front. Capping looks. Fan on the pass. Got it back though in the battle with Laitala. Capping one more time to the face-off circle. Onstadt checked down and backhanded out to the safety of center by Max Nordstrom. Carlander, the re-entry. Moss turning it. Onstadt one-timer. Got too much leverage. Missed it high. Carlander didn't get a lot on that shot. Blocker save by Helmanen. To the far side. Moss stripped of the puck. Carlander couldn't flag it down. It was high off the glass and past him. 10 Harmsel with 1 minute to go on the power play. To Onstadt, to Carlander, and he got handcuffed by that pass. Cleared down and all the way behind the Cougars' goal. Aaron helps tee it up for Ten Harmsel. Onstadt. Try to get through center, but defended well by Easton Terrian, who fires it down the river. Pustelli makes a move behind his goal. Half-minute left on the advantage. Hemminger's pass that hit the skate of Gage Potter. Ricochets right back to Pustelli, though. Hemminger, one more try. He does get it in and past the goaltender Helmanen behind his net. On to Moore. 2 assists today. Another penalty is on the way, and I think it's going to be against Jeffers again. Yes, it is. Aaron's off the ice. He's on the bench. The Cougars have a 6 skater out there. It's a 6-on-4 briefly. 6 seconds to go on the initial penalty against Jeffers. Long delivery away from Dozema. Ends up behind the Jeffers net and finally touched by Noah Randall. But just as the power play ends, a new one begins for Catholic Central. 9:35 to go. And Helmanen sent to the box, or Heltonen, excuse me, for interference. Third power play for the Cougars. Will this be the one? 9:35 left. And Kappinga, with Carlander's help, controls the faceoff. Carlander closes, and he rifles it off the knob of the stick of Helmanen, I think. That's what it sounded like, at least up here. All the way around the wood to Carlander, bunts it to Kappinga, coming out of the corner, protecting the puck, but not well enough as it's swatted by Brogan Turner down into Jacob Aaron's net front area. Onstadt clips the pass across to Moss. He tried to make a move to get around the edge against Nordstrom, couldn't do it, and taken over by Griffin Heinonen and backhanded all the way down again. 50 seconds gone on the power play, the third of the afternoon for Catholic Central. 2 in a row in the third period with the score tied 4-4. Helmanen couldn't stop the dump in. Dozema on it. Try to give it to Moss, but the puck got stuck there on the boards. Ten Harmsel slaps it toward the net. A wobbly one, tricky one, but Helmanen caught it with no trouble. With 8:24 to play in the third, and plenty of Cougars right there in his kitchen. 50 seconds left on this advantage chance. Catholic Central changes up the power play unit. It's Hemminger, Gage Potter, Jackson Dozema, with Parker Moore and Morgan Pustelli on the blue line. Face-off won by the Cougars, but too forcefully, right by Pustelli. He hooks up with Moore. Stationary makes the pass to Gage Potter. Quick flip, right wing Hemminger. Draws in a defender, makes the pass to Pustelli. Moore couldn't settle that puck. It's starting to bounce around a little bit. Didn't get that ice resurfacing after the second period. Remember that. That can be a factor. Pustelli, a good hip check to send Anderson off the puck. Otherwise, it could have been a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Anderson rifles it ahead, and that might do it for this power play. Just 16 seconds left on it. Pustelli trying to change that thought. Right over center circle. Pustelli couldn't drag it with him all the way. Stayed in the zone briefly, and charging back Nordstrom. Final seconds of the power play expire, and we're back to 5-on-5. The Cougars 1 for 3 this afternoon, just like Jeffers is. We are tied 4-4, 7.5 minutes left. Pustelli has it taken away. L'Esperance robbed by Aaron. Key save with just over 7 minutes left. Drive goes wide from the left boards by Laitala. Hemminger first on the puck, but he's bumped hard and taken off of it. L'Esperance to the middle. Turner misfired. Quick offense from Jeffers. Heinonen across. Laitala right into the belly of Aaron, and he hangs on with 6:57 to go. Great game this afternoon. Second game of the slate in the D3 Challenge. 21st year for this event. Coming up after us, we've got Divine Child versus Chelsea. Gibraltar Carlson against Big Rapids. Alpena versus Flint Powers Catholic at 6, and then at 8, Manistee versus the host, the Gaylord Blue Devils. A big thanks to the Blue Devils for once again putting on this event. Cohen Potter had his stick slashed out of his hands. That's got to be a penalty, and it will be a penalty. A third power play for the Cougars in the third period upcoming, unless they score on this delayed situation. Gevorkian's pass. That goes off the skate of McLean, right to a Jet. And guess what? Power play time again for CC. And that one you can't even dispute. Tej Rayala goes right to the box with 6:32 remaining. Ten Harmsel scored earlier in this period to tie the score. That's the only goal of the third so far. And here he is again, number 21 in blue. Over to Carlander, far side. Here's a shot by Onstad, and it hits something in front. Not sure what. Onstad scoops the backhand play behind the goal. It comes loose to Carlander, who often plays setup man on these power plays. Turner fires it out of the zone, and Onstad is hurt, trying to get up to his feet on the far boards. The whistle sounds for the injury, and Coach Kyle Marchand trots out onto the ice to check on his junior defender, Onstad, who is clutching at one of his legs. I think it's his left leg, and it doesn't look great. Didn't see what happened to him over there. He took the shot that was blocked, and then the puck was cleared around the boards to the near side, and Onstad still on the ice. I don't know if there's any athletic trainer available. There should be someone, but Onstad is going to be helped off the ice and not putting a lot of weight on that left skate, unfortunately. Helped off by Kappinga and Moore, and players are looking for someone to step in. There's got to be medical personnel somewhere in the building. Athletic trainer or not, someone's got to be here. That's MHSAA rules. And Onstad is going to be helped off the ice on this near side. And Coach Marchand is going to put his arm under Onstad's and get him to the dressing room. That's tough to watch. Onstad, the Cougars' leading scorer, with 7 points on the year, tied with Gage Potter. But just worried about the human being in that circumstance. As here's Parker Moore. Play continues, or play restarts, I should say. Cleared by Blake Heltonen. 90 seconds to go on the power play. So we've got Ten Harmsel and Moore out there manning the blue line if the Cougars can get it set up in the offensive zone. Carlander, Moss, and Kappinga, the first power play unit for the Cougars. Turner saucers it all the way down for Jeffers. 1 minute to go on the power play. Coach Marchand back on the bench. Looking on as Carlander fights for that loose puck at center. Jeffers putting the pressure on in the neutral ice area, but Kappinga drives down the boards. A chip play to the front, nearly connected with Moss. Moss delivers to Ten Harmsel. Carlander. Stick handling. Oh, he fed it away from Ten Harmsel, who I think Carlander thought was further toward the right point. Half minute left on the power play. Third straight power play for the Cougars, but Ten Harmsel's entry pass intercepted and hammered 200 feet down the ice by Anderson. Or I should say about 150 feet coming from his own blue line. You know what I mean. Moore gets by a couple of Jets. Moore lassos it. But Anderson ripped it away. On back into Jeffers territory. Randall can't get much on it, but he does scoot it to center. Moore filters it across. Gage Potter, he's got Heminger trying to cut down the slot. Power play is over. And the Cougars 1 for 4, 0 for 3 in the period. Moore risks a shot off the glove of Helmanen, who's sprawling out of his net on the rebound. Pastelli takes it back. Helmanen back in his crease. Pastelli the shot, tipped by Heminger to the end boards. 4:15 to go in the third. Moore a shot blocked, got it right back. Gave it to Gage Potter, top of the face-off circle. Shoots off the outside of the net. Thought for a minute he might have scored from that spot. Pastelli gloved down the puck, dropped it to his stick, forced it into the attacking zone, and I think that's offside against Catholic Central. A delayed offside, so I think it's an intentional offside, the call, as the linesman pointed down into Cougars territory for the upcoming faceoff. 3:56 to go. It was 3-2 after 1, Jeffers. 4-3 Jeffers after 2. Catholic Central did have a lead for about 4 minutes in the first period, but for the most part, they've been playing catch-up, and they've done well enough, but 3 power plays in this third since they tied it on the 10 Harmsel point shot, and they have not been able to convert. So Jeffers coming off the penalty kill. They work it out high. Laitala's shot blocked. Rebound comes off to Heinonen, and he's denied off the skate of Aaron. That was close. McLean couldn't get it up and out. Here's Turner. Poke check by Gavorkian, who stepped up just in time. Turpinen pinned by McLean. Pastelli joins the party. Turpinen played it to an open wing from the corner. Gavorkian couldn't clear. Turner right there, put it right into the CC on Aaron's chest. Jacob Aaron comes up with the save on the top gun for Jeffers. Brogan Turner, who's already scored today to give him 14 goals for the season in just 11 games. Another goal for a defenseman today for Catholic Central. That's been a theme this year. And it is this man with the puck, Casey 10 Harmsel, the junior. Couldn't get it out, though, that time. And a short side shot by Turner, that missed. Excuse me, that was Easton Terrian. Turner off the ice as Jeffers changes it up. Angle pass ahead by Dozema, and he's frustrated because he knew he had Moss, but it had to be a perfect play basically to get it to him, and it's icing instead against Catholic Central. 2:46 left. If we don't get a goal in the next couple of minutes, it'll be shootout time from Gaylord. The Cougars are 1-0 in a shootout situation this year, beating Bay Reps just 8 days ago in the West Michigan Hockey Showcase. This is the D3 Challenge. Similar rules, though. Cameron Anderson. He got a goal back in the first. Anderson in traffic. Gave it to the point. Olin Congas banged it down the wall. Ryala knocked off the puck. The Cougars with Moore and Dozema got it free. 10 Harmsel firing a pass, and again it's icing as it skipped right by Cooper Moss on the far wing. .2:12 left. Still time for someone to play hero, wearing a blue jersey. Face-off won by Jeffers, but a shot was blocked. Turner hammered it, but couldn't tell who it was. Might have been Gavorkian in front of the goal who fronted that. Scooted wide of Aaron. He taps it over to Pastelli. Hustling back Morgan Pastelli. He's got some jump in his step late, doesn't he? Pastelli down the boards. Keeps it moving north. Into the clutches, though, of Turner with under 2 to play in regulation. Nordstrom. Can he escape? He cannot. Kapinga knocked him for a loop. Heminger also trying to find that loose puck in support. To the point, Gavorkian held it, shot it, and Helmanen saw it last minute to kick it away. I don't think it was going on net, though. Gavorkian jumps down the wall. Griffin Heinonen played it far side. Turner tossed it ahead. Heminger first on it for Catholic Central. Off of Turner. Hops free and scooped up on the move by Gage Potter. Nordstrom's pass off a Cougar foot and back to Heminger. Couldn't control. It's still up for grabs at center. We go back and forth with possession. Anderson, 1 minute to go. Anderson right to the front, off Pastelli's leg, to the point. Griffin Heinonen, his backhand blocked by Kappinga. And the puck deflects off the rink again in the corner over the high glass. 52 seconds remaining. And the Cougars get 5 fresh skaters out there to defend in front of Aaron for the upcoming draw. Dozema for the Cougars against Anderson for the Jeffers Jets, and the Jets want a timeout. Coach Aaron Helmanen wants to talk it over. Why not? You can't take it with you back to the UP, so why not use it? Scoring recap. Jeffers got the first goal from Griffin Heinonen. Then the Cougars scored back-to-back within 14 seconds midway through the first. Gage Potter off a setup from Parker Moore. And then Cohen Potter scored on the rebound of a Moore shot. First goal was on the power play. Second was at even strength. It was 2-1 Cougars. But then Jeffers answered back with 2 in a row before the end of the first period. Cameron Anderson stepping off the near side wall, lifted it under the crossbar, and then Carson L'Esperance gathered a loose puck and put it in with 22 seconds left in the opening frame. It was 3-2 Jets. Catholic Central tied it just a minute and a half into the second when Kate Heminger intercepted an attempted clearance and powered it by Kaysen Helmanen from close range. It was 3-3. Jeffers snatched a 4-3 lead. A couple of minutes later on a 5-on-3 power play, Brogan Turner buried his 14th of the season from the left face-off circle. And the only goal in this third, Casey Ten Harmsel wiring a shot from the point that found its way behind Helmanen to tie the score 4-4. That was with 12:40 left in the third. We now have 52 seconds remaining. Off the Jeffers timeout. To the corner, Anderson centering and knocked away by Moss. Everyone at full alert right now on both sides. Ten Harmsel, can he clear? He can with help from Carlander, who ushered the puck out to center. Dumped right back in off Ten Harmsel. Parker Moore takes control. Moore ran into Nordstrom far side, but Moss keeps it going into the Jet zone. Heltonen, 25 seconds remaining. His pass eludes the reach of Turner. Ten Harmsel will gladly take it back with Turner on his tail. The pass to the middle, Dozema scooted it into the attacking zone again. But again, the Cougars can't take control there. Heltonen up the far wall. Ten Harmsel has to backpedal. So does Parker Moore. 6 seconds left. Look out. Turner, a shot off the arm of Aaron. Quick developing play and a high stick on the puck as the buzzer sounds. High stick on the puck by Jeffers. That'll bring the faceoff back into Jeffers territory, or at least it should, as the clock continued to run. I feel like the Cougars should be the beneficiaries of at least one more offensive faceoff, offensive zone faceoff. Yeah, 1.5 says the referee. He's going to put a little bit of time on the clock. And since it was touched by Jeffers, they'll have to defend in front of their net. At least I think that's going to be the case. The entire Jeffers team is already on the ice to congratulate their goalie on a game effort, especially in the third period. Yeah, they're going to put 1.5 on the clock, I think, is what I heard from up here. And a timeout's been called by Catholic Central, so they can discuss. And like I said before, why not? And the faceoff's going to be on the left side. Parker Moore was asking if they could pick the side. And since it wasn't an icing violation, it was a high stick on the puck, and it occurred on the near side of the rink. That's why the faceoff will be on the left side. So there's an outside chance, and, well, Jeffers gave up the game winner against Divine Child yesterday off a very similar situation. Now, the faceoff in that case came with 10 seconds left, not 1.5, but you could win the faceoff and get a shot off, and a second and a half, no doubt, but it's going to have to go in toward the net quickly, obviously. You might get 2 touches on the puck, or Catholic Central might think about just shooting it off the draw. But, of course, the Jeffers Center might also drop down to play goalie, if you will, from that position. So here we go, 4-4 tie, 1.5 seconds left. One last shot to win it in regulation. So here we go. We've got Jensen out there in the slot along with Dozema, Carlander, Moss all in the shooting hole, capping it to take the draw. He tries to jam it toward the front. Moore gets one chance at it. It's blocked at the buzzer by Brogan Turner. And that is that. And in fact, it looks like we are not going to do a shootout. It's just going to be a tie. I apologize. I thought there would be a tiebreaker here. But that is it. 4-4 final between Catholic Central and Jeffers. Casey Ten Harmsel gets the game-tying goal. Catholic Central close. They were knocking on that door. They were buzzing in the third period on those power plays, but just could not get the fifth. So handshakes at center ice, and the Cougars and the Jets both record their first tie of the 2025-26 season. Catholic Central 6-2-1, Jeffers 7-3-1, and also for the first time in Kyle Marchand's coaching career in Michigan high school hockey, he has a draw. He coached 2 previous seasons at Linden Fenton. This is his first year with Catholic Central. So sorry to lead you on, folks. I thought we'd see a shootout, but we do not. It ends 4-4. Catholic Central fights back. They trailed 3 separate times in this game, so give them credit for that. And they'll head home to take on Granville on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Talk to you next week on Cougar Puck Radio. Thanks so much for watching. For our cameraman, Eli Rice, the student manager, I'm Matt Gajtka, saying have a great rest of your weekend. God bless, and we'll see you soon.